So yes, embracing change has that phase when you're going from that old identity to the new identity. So like I said, go back and check my video, review that a little bit. You will get that understanding of how the attitude, the skills, the people around you, these are things that you need to figure out. But to embrace this change, this transition, I will even encourage you to think about this as less of a transition and more of a transformation. And why I say this is because a transition is like you leave the old and just suddenly start the new. And that doesn't happen when it comes to habits, when it comes to identity, when it comes to sadhana, when it comes to your leadership change, when it comes to building capabilities, working on your health. Any of these changes that you look at in life, they are not a cut and start something new. There is a transition involved. Now, how to go about that? Let me give you 3 distinct things that you need to be absolutely aware of, right? The first thing that you need to be aware of to move from the old identity to the new identity is you need discipline. The second thing that you need from the old identity to the new identity is skill building. The third thing that you need from the old identity to the new identity is a litmus test to examine what have you achieved, how much have you achieved, and where are you. So in a sense, a progress check mechanism that you will need to have, right? So those are the 3 things, and let me talk about that in a little bit of detail now. So for the first thing, it's very simple. I'm not going to again delve too much into it. I will share with you the link of 10 videos that I've already done on the concept of discipline, and there is enough explanation on that. So watch them at leisure. So you will need to master things like your self-regulation. You will need to get the right kind of intrinsic motivation to work with yourself. You will need the right kind of consistency. And these are almost the basics that you need to work with. Then to ensure that the change happens from the old to the new, you need to ensure that you have the right kind of goal setting, the right kind of time management, the right kind of persistence, and the right kind of taking responsibility. And those will be literally the skills with which you deal with this change. And finally, there are a few life skills like your own self-awareness, like your own ability to bounce back and make decisions and face things and face consequences. Those are a few things that you will anyways require. So watch those 10 videos, the links I will send you. So that will really help you. But discipline is one thing, right? So managing going from the old to the new can never happen unless you are disciplined about the whole process that you need to do, right? But the second thing that I said, skill building, right? The old identity, the new versus the new, the old leadership style versus the new style, the old way of doing things versus the new way of doing things, your earlier persona to whatever dharmic practices, sadhana, etc. that you're trying to master. All of these will have a certain set of skills. Here, you need to break them down and first understand what is the delta that you need to cover. And that delta, like I said, you need to break them down. Don't try to do everything in one go. The human brain can only comprehend so much of challenge. See, you're not going to leave everything else in your life and then start working on that change. You're going to do everything else, like you need to get through your day, you need to work with your family, you need to get your job done, you need to do whatever else you're doing. And within that, you have to change this identity, change this state of being where you are, or adapt new practices, etc. So that's why that chunking is required. And put that chunking into sequence, things that you need to do in parallel, etc. And take small pieces of it. Take 2-3 things that you're going to change in one go. And then work on that. And in that process of focusing on 1 or 2, 3 things, build the skills around this to ensure that you're doing the right kind of things. Now, building skills is what? So understand this, that first you have to adopt certain skills before you adapt to them, right? Now, adopt, adapt. Remember these 2 things. Adopt is a little bit of faking. Adapt is you've naturalized it. So there is a journey to transition from adopt to adapt. To adopt something, you have to be very aware. So I'm going to give you a few A's here. Remember A, the words with A. First thing is be aware. You need to be aware when to use a certain skill, how to use a certain skill. So you need to learn about it, etc. And be alert about that whole situation. So that awareness is going to tell you, now I need to apply this skill, this is how I need to apply this skill, etc. Whether it's a meditative practice or it's an exercise or it's a schedule that you need to follow, or a particular way of having a conversation with somebody, or a particular way of influencing, a way of delivering a speech, any of that, whatever that transition is that you are going through, and that particular behavior that you want to master or the particular habit that you want to master, be aware of that. Your awareness is going to help you have the right kind of alertness to act or to arrest. Now, act is doing what you need to do. Arrest is checking the negative behavior, because we many times go to the old habit or rely on something else that we know, or a muscle memory kicks in. So you have to cut the muscle memory. You need to arrest that behavior. So your awareness is going to give you the ability to either be alert and apply something, or arrest and apply something. Either of which way, take that sense of adoption and do the things and practice that a lot more. Now, as you do the awareness, alert, and the arresting mechanism, slowly over a period of time, you will start developing comfort. Now, this comfort is where the transformation is happening. Remember, I said it's not about a transition, it's about a transformation. That transformation gives you ease, the transformation gives you peace. You have to, with any change, come to a point where you start feeling comfortable with it. That is when the change is getting internalized, whatever change it might be. Well, like I said, it's a leadership style or exercise or your spirituality, sadhana, your identity, whatever you're going through as a transformation. Get that particular small area into a level of comfort. And as you get to that level of comfort, you need to continue, internalizing it more. So practice it more. That is where reinforcement comes in. So the awareness, the alertness, and the arresting is going to then help you apply it correctly through your constant reinforcement. And the benchmark that you need to look at is the comfort that you're getting, right? And remember the third thing with skill building that I had said, you need to have a mechanism to assess how are you progressing. So one of the first sense that you need to start getting is you need to start becoming comfortable with things. From a state of very consciously trying to make that change or feeling the discomfort of making the change, you have to consciously come to a place where you are comfortable. And then slowly that thing will get internalized and become unconscious. And that's that check and measure that we need to do. Now, for some of us, the measurement can happen on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, depending on what is the intensity, how often are you using a skill, etc. But for most habits that you're trying to apply, have a daily, a weekly goal of how many times you're going to do something, or what intensity are you going to do it with, what quality you're going to do it with, and keep on checking yourself and that progress. That is how you manage your transition from going to the old to the new. So understand this whole formula. So I'll repeat that for yourself. The first thing for you to do when you're going from the old to the new is to understand what is going to be your delta. To cover that delta, you will need discipline, for which I've invited you to look at those 10 videos that I have. It will give you the essence of what discipline constitutes. From discipline, with discipline, you're going to have to build skills. To build skills, chunk things into small pieces. And for each of those small pieces, you will need to have the right kind of awareness, the right kind of alertness, and the arresting to apply them correctly. The application needs to be at such a place that you're getting comfortable with it. As comfort comes in, keep reinforcing it so that you can progress, and keep on doing your sense check on a daily, weekly basis. How much are you progressing and are you hitting your goals? You do that for a consistent period of time with 1 or 2 changes. You'll start getting very, very comfortable. Whatever is the area of change that you're looking at, use this formula and it will work well. Whether it's your spiritual goal, your financial goals, your growth goals, physical development goals, anything, approach it with this perspective. It'll really help you to get the right kind of results.